This all started as a petty little argument I had with my girlfriend. I reasoned that lower level classes should have a higher proportion of A's because easy content equals easy A's. But she reasoned and she argued with me that she believed higher level classes should have a higher proportion of A's because she reasoned those are the people who are much more academically inclined. And so, if there's anybody who's going to take a little bit too far, it's gonna be me. Welcome to... I see you, you're walking across the campus, cool professor studying romances. Luckily for me, all the grade spreads and all the grade distributions for every single statistics class is public information. All you literally have to do is type U of SC grade spread and it is the first link online. Side note, by the way, I found out somebody failed U101. I don't want to be that guy, but you've got to be a different, you've got to be a different person to fail U101. For the purposes of this conversation, I'll only be looking at statistics classes because that's what I'm most familiar with, and secondly, only classes at Columbia USC because again, that's what I'm the most familiar with, and finally, only classes within the last 2 years because I feel like there's a lot of bias if you go a little bit too far. And so, for the easiest class metric, I'm going to use the proportion of A's that students get in comparison to the total amount of students within that class. Now I do acknowledge I could have used the B's and the C's and the D's and the grade point average for the class, but according to my Asian immigrant parents, if I'm not getting an A, I'm practically failing anyways. And using that trauma, I will proceed with this process. Okay, for the 339 classes, here are the predictor variables that we'll be using. The first predictor is the number of withdrawals. The second is the number of total students. The third is the semester. It's a 1 if it's a spring semester or a 0 if it's a fall semester. 4 is whether it's honors or not. 5 is whether it's online or not. 6 is the course level, 1, 2, all the way up to the graduate level at 800. 7 if it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. 8 if it's Tuesday or Thursday, and finally 9 whether or not it's a morning class, and I'm defining morning as the class starts between 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And of course the response variable will be the A ratio, which is literally nothing but the proportion of the amount of A's that you get all over the total amount of students in the class. Okay, with that out of the way, call me Victoria's Secret because it is now time to model this bad boy. Looking at the data before any real analysis, you can see that the A ratio already follows a normal distribution. No, it's not perfect, it's not perfectly symmetrical, but it's practically a normal distribution. If you look at the QQ plot that I'm going to show on the screen, it should also show that it's already following that line already. So as such, we'll be using a normal linear regression model. Unfortunately, I only added the statistics major this year. I am entirely new to this department and I don't really know how the statistics courses work myself. I need an expert. I need the CEO of statistics. I need the statistics wizard. I need the chair. Who am I here with today?
My name is David Hitchcock and I'm a faculty member in the statistics department at South Carolina.
Okay, what I have for you is a prior observation list. Of course, Dr. Hitchcock wasn't the only person that I interviewed. I also interviewed Dr. Banya. I also interviewed Dr. Habing. I emailed Dr. Bird and he gave me an email response. I also emailed Dr. Tebbs as well. He didn't respond. Here's some funny clips from those interviews. Hello? Who am I here with?
You want me to answer that?
Yeah, oh yeah, for the video. For the video. Who am I here with?
Professor Brian Habing, the Department of Statistics.
And then bam, here's the model. In addition to that, in addition to everything that I got from it, I took the point estimates and I made another model using the stand-GLM function, this time with no prior observations, just so that I can get a draw from both of them to get a better feel of what's going on with the coefficients. But without further ado, let's talk about the coefficients and what exactly matters. Bam, on your screen right now are the summaries of the posterior models. Don't worry, you don't have to squint your eyes to go read them right now. I did the squinting for you. Here we go. Let's talk about every single one of the variables that I thought was really important. The least significant variables when it comes to determining the ratio of A's in a class. Number one is going to be your spring or fall. So again, it doesn't matter whether or not it's a spring class or a fall class, the A ratio isn't really deterred by that, which makes sense. Nobody really changes in between semesters. Secondly was the Monday, Wednesday, Friday structure. So if your class was Monday, Wednesday, Friday structure, it didn't really have an effect on the ratio of A's in the class. But interestingly, if your class was Tuesday, Thursday structure, for some reason, the A ratio was expected to decrease by almost 10%. Weird. I reckon this to the idea that if it's a Monday, Wednesday, Friday class, it's just like your normal, everyday average class that you're used to from high school. But Tuesday, Thursdays, because they have longer lectures, or the longer length of the lectures, maybe you don't focus as much and maybe your A ratios are smaller? Possibly? Secondly, another variable that I found to have little significance because its confidence interval contained a 0, it's 95% confidence interval, was the course level. This is so weird to me. Apparently it doesn't matter what course level it was, it didn't have an effect on the A ratio. This is especially surprising to me because I thought the classes that are higher in course level would have a higher A ratio. Even Dr. Habing says it himself. It was just so odd to me. Secondly, this wasn't a surprise, but definitely interesting to note. If a class was honors had a humongous effect on the ratio of A's in that class. In fact, with point estimates at 0.35 and 0.374, if a class is known to be honors, the A ratio is expected to increase by almost 40%. Oh my gosh. I believe this is due to the academic rigor that comes with honors classes. Or this could be due to the fact that honors students are smelly nerds. Yeah, they're just smelly nerds. I'm allowed to say that. God, I lived in honors dorm. God, we were oh my God. Oh, we need to take a shot. Honestly, some of us need to take a shot. That's like a legit. On the flip side, if a class is known to be online, the A ratio is expected to decrease by almost 10%. And again, you could probably reason why this is with a lack of human interaction. This could feel like a lack of responsibility or a lack of obligation. If you don't see other people doing work, you probably also don't want to do work either, because who does work for fun? And finally, this is for the rise and grind people out there. If a class was noted to be a morning class, that is between 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., the ratio of A's is expected to increase by 9%. This again could be alluded to the rise and grind gym bros of the world, or the people who actually are really productive and don't sleep in until 2 p.m. Finally, for some model adequacy and to just check off some boxes, here are some of the trace plots. It's very apparent there's the hairy caterpillar and it converges well. The autocorrelation plots have a very significant dip, meaning there's low autocorrelation, and a mean absolute error that's only off about 13%. Again, which I think is a pretty good mean absolute error. Finally, I thought it'd be funny to predict the A ratio for the class that we're in right now, and for the class that you're watching this video for STAT535, using the information that I know. I found that 52% of this class is expected to attain an A by the end of the semester, with a 95% confidence interval from 18% to 90%. Which is a pretty huge ratio looking at it. And that does it for me in this class. If you want to take a class that has a very, very high A ratio, or you have a higher probability to get an A in that class, or at least compared to the rest of your peers. Take a class that is in the morning, that is an honors class, that's not Tuesday, Thursday, and also that is not online. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your time. And I'll see you in class tomorrow.